Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Creating Cards with Debbie. I want to introduce myself. My name is Debbie Foster, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas. And again, I want to welcome you here today. If you're watching me on Facebook, be sure that you hit that like button and the share button. And if you're watching me on YouTube, be sure you hit the subscribe button and also that little bell, and you'll be notified when I go live. I try to do a video every week, so um, I'd love to have you come watch me. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting into our introduction here with all of our things that are going on with Stampin' Up. We've got quite a bit going on. All right, so let me go ahead and bring up some things to talk about. And today is Monday, September 29th, 2025. I forgot to mention that. Okay, Stampin' Up! Has got a wonderful promotion going on for October. It runs from October 1st until October 31st. It says our best starter kit ever. It's stamping is just the beginning. So let me take that off and we'll show you what the deals are. We've got option one, which you can pay $35 and you'll get $125 worth of products. And that's like a $90 extra that you're getting for $35 that you're not paying for. And what that is $35 you pay and you pick out $125 worth of products, and that's free shipping, and you'll get your business supplies too, plus a paper pumpkin kit. But you don't have to do what I'm doing. You can just do it to get your discount. So after you've gotten your kit and you put in your following orders, you receive at least 20% discount on your products before shipping and tax. So that's a good deal. And let me show you the next option is $99, and you pick out $189 worth of products. And that's the same thing. You'll get $90 extra of products that you're not paying for. So that's a plus. And again, after get your starter kit and put in your orders, you receive a discount each time. All right. So if you want to learn any more about that, you can go to my website that's showing at the bottom of the screen, and it's also in the description of the video to get your starter kit. I've never seen Stampin' Up! Do this kind of an offer before, especially the $35 one. That's unbelievable. Even if you don't want to continue after your quota time is over with, you still got all those products to keep at that great price, pretty much free. So I wanted to share that with you. And then we're going to talk about Paper Pumpkin. For the month of October, it says Cozy Christmas. And you've got until October 10th to subscribe to this one. It says flock details look like stitching. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a peek at what that might be about. It says create heartfelt Christmas cards with classic charm and flocked accents. It makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with 9 coordinating envelopes. Pre-cut paper pieces with soft stitch-looking flocking. Shiny red sequin embellishments. And the Stampin' Spot that you'll get with this kit is going to be real red, but it also coordinates with basic beige, cherry cobbler, garden green, pecan pie. And even the box is pretty. You can just put a label over that paper pumpkin area and use that as a gift box. Very pretty. Okay, and if you want to sign up for your paper pumpkin, there's a sign up website, or it's in the description of my video also. And along with that, you can get the dies that go along with that for that'll coordinate with the October, November, and December paper pumpkin kits. And once you subscribe, or if you are a subscriber, you can get these dies for only $12. And the item number is 167855. So those dies will coordinate with all 3 months. And you get a lot of dies there. So again, And also, we've got World Card Making Day, which is that Saturday, I believe. Look at my calendar here. Yeah, Saturday the 4th of October. We've got World Card Making Day. It says, join me for a free crafting event on October 4th to celebrate World Card Making Day. And let me tell you a little bit about that. I think you still can register for that. So you just go to stampinup.com and register for the World Card Making Day. And it says, celebrate the art of card making, learn new stamping techniques, craft along with presenters, and create beautiful, heartfelt cards that you can send out. And you can connect with fellow stampers. I'm looking to see the dates. Okay, you've got until October 3rd to register for that. So the World Card Making Day is October 4th from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and that's Mountain Time. And it's absolutely free. You might want to join in on that fun. I'm going to be there. And next, we've got a new kit that says, make this Christmas magical. And this is, it says, make the season bright with the 12 days of crafting Advent calendar. And it says, countdown to Christmas with exclusive products you will not find in any Stampin' Up! Catalogs or our online store. Buy one for yourself and gift one to a friend before they're gone. It comes with a stamp set. And I've had some peeks at what's inside there, and there's lots of good things. There's some dies, there's DSP, embellishments, a little bit of everything in there. It's well worth the price of $99 for this kit. So if you have any questions, reach out to me and I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. Okay, so I think we've got everything covered. But again, I want to remind you of that join special where you get your starter kit, $35, receive $125 worth of products. That's a great deal. If I wasn't already a demonstrator, I'd sign up again. That's a better deal than when I got on. So I've never seen this price before. It's usually not that low. I've never seen it this way. So you might want to just get it to get your items and then just drop after that. There's no catch to it. So reach out and ask me any questions you might have about that. All right. So trying to think if there's anything else. So if you want to reach me by email, you can reach me at, let me bring my tabletop up here so you know what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. Like I said, I'm creating cards with Debbie, and you can shop for any of the products that I showed at www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net, or you can email me with any questions or private message me. And my email address is creatingwithdebbie179@gmail.com. So let me see if I can't bring myself up on the screen along with this. No. I'm sitting here playing with this and not getting anywhere. It should be one that shows my face at the same time, but I'm not finding it. Well, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know. I'll quit playing here and we'll go ahead and get down to business. Press Shift and 4. No, that didn't do anything. Well, I don't know. I'm messing up here. Let's quit playing and get down to business. Okay, today we're going to be using the Amber Autumn bundle, and that's got a bad glare on it. Okay, Amber Autumn and the dies. It's one of our new sets. And our first card is using that, and we're going to get out all of our bits and pieces here. I need to make some room here. And dropping my instructions all over. Here's our card. We're going to be doing some heat embossing and some die cutting and stamping, a little bit of everything today. Get my bits and pieces out here. Okay, so being it's fall and we've got Thanksgiving coming up after Halloween, it says, grateful for you, blessed to have you in my life. And I heat embossed with gold on the sentiment and the inside. So we're going to set that aside, get our papers out here. So our card base is going to be pecan pie. Got my directions mixed up here. There we go. 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and then it's scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. We're going to burnish that fold vine. I feel like I'm forgetting something today. I'm sure I am, but I'm not sure what it is yet. And then we've got another pecan pie that measures 4 3/16 inches by 5 7/16 inches. I know it's kind of an odd size, but I wanted just a hair under the size of our card. So it's just barely a tiny, tiny border going around. So we're going to set those aside. And then I die cut with this die, the frame. And okay, using this die, I die cut our metallic, what is it called? Our specialty paper, a new one. The Earthen toned metallic 12 by 12. And that's in the description of the video too. So it's this here. I know it's a lot of glare. So I've already die cut that out. So you can see, very intricate and very pretty. And that's going to go onto our smaller layer of our pecan pie. And I'm going to center that on there. And I'm going to bring my silicone mat over here so I don't get glue all over the place. And then I'm going to add some glue all around that using my Tombow. And I want to be careful not to get it too much because I don't want that on our metallic paper. So being careful what I'm doing. I'm going to go around the edges, maybe a couple dots here and there. I think that's good. Don't overdo it. Now we're going to turn that over and place that down. Try not to get glue on my fingers. A little shaky today. Must have had too much caffeine. And slide this over just a bit. Okay. There. Look how pretty that is. Love it. Okay. And we're going to go ahead. And I'm not going to glue that down yet. We're going to add our other things there first. We're just going to set this aside and we're going to work on our stamping. Going to stamp first with our Memento Black ink. We're going to stamp the pumpkins. Using this image out of the stamp set. And we'll close that up. We're done with that for now. And then we're going to bring our Stampin' Blends. We're going to be using Cajun Craze, Darling Duckling, and Old Olive. The colors we're using. I'm going to start with the dark Cajun Craze. And do a little shading first on our pumpkins. The image already has our little lines there that we can use as our shading marks, shading. And there. We'll go ahead and do this other one while we're at it. I am loving this stamp set. Well, the whole bundle, I should say. But even the sentiments I like. Yeah. Let me go around the edge of this one a little bit. Get a little shading. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Oh, this was good. We had to get a new refrigerator again. Mine was probably about 15 years old, and it was starting to make a lot of noise. I Googled it, and it said that the compressor was ready to go out, so I didn't want a chance being losing all my food and everything, so we went ahead and bought a new one. So they delivered that yesterday, so we had to miss church, which we don't like to do. But we didn't want to delay getting it any longer, so you got to do what you got to do. I'm sure God will forgive us. It just messes up my week because if I miss church, then I don't know what day of the week it is. It seems like I'm all lost all week long. Throws my inner calendar off. Okay, so there's our pumpkins with a little bit of shading. Cajun Craze. Now we're going to do the squash there using the Darling Duckling. And again, I'm going to start out with my light Darling Duckling and do some shading. You don't have to be so careful with the blends. It's really forgiving, so makes it easier. And then I'm going to do my corn. I'm just going to do some dots of the dark Darling Duckling onto the ears of the corn. And I think we're done with the dark. We'll come back with the light Darling Duckling. And do some more dots with the light. It's okay if you got some that aren't covered because we want that to show through anyway. And color our squash. How many of y'all have this bundle? It's one of our new ones that just came out. And now we're going to take our Old Olive. And again, I'm going to start with the dark. And I'm going to do the veins of the sleeves. All right. here. And I'm going to do the shrubbery. I'm not sure what that is. Some kind of grasses. And the stems of our pumpkin and our squash. And I'm going to do this little ground underneath the pumpkin with the dark old olive. And we'll do the light old olive with the rest of the stems and the leaves. And don't forget this little squiggly coming off of the pumpkin. Not sure what that's called. All right, I'm going to bring my darling duckling back over here, and I'm going to do the leaves of the corn. And start with the dark again. Do some shading. And then the light to finish it off. All right, so there's that. All right, so here's our pumpkins and our squash. And we're going to die cut that, but I've already die cut one already, so you don't have to watch me do that. So we're going to bring our piece back over here, and we're going to add this trim. This is called the Irregular weave trim, and it doesn't say what color it is. It's kind of a beige. So we're going to put that across the center here, or the lower center. And our pumpkins are going to go up on dimensionals. So let's bring our dimensionals over here. And I'm going to do just the top and the bottom because the ribbon's going to go through the center portion. So it'll sit over that. And before I do that, I'm going to do my heat embossing. Well, I can go ahead and attach these. I'm going to bring my Stampin' Seal over here, and we're going to attach that ribbon on the back side. We're going to strip over here. I guess I'm using my Stampin' Seal Plus. I meant to grab the other one, but this is okay. And my silicone mat over here. I'm trying to figure out which I want, top or bottom. Looks like it's that way. I'm going to go like 2/3 of the way from the top. Let's see if that's straight. Looks fine to me. And the pumpkins are going to sit over that. Okay, right about there. Press down. Now we can go ahead and attach that to our card front. Tombow glue. So it's been a pretty pricey year. We've had to buy all new kitchen appliances this year. I don't know how that happened. Just everything went capoodle at the same time, it seems like. Not sure that was a word. Okay, so we'll attach that to our card front. And our card, I forgot to show, is going to open this way. And I've die cut some banners from the, what is it called? Where did they go? From the Stylish Shapes dies. I'm using this one here. I've already die cut from our Very Vanilla cardstock. We'll go ahead and emboss this one on camera. And I'm just going to grab a scrap of white paper here to use to catch my embossing powder. And I'm going to emboss that using our gold embossing powder. I need my Versamark, my Stampin' Buddy, and maybe my reverse tweezers to do this with. We're going to start out with our embossing buddy, and we're just going to tap, tap, tap to make sure there's no static cling on there. Gets rid of the oils from your fingers and such. And our Versamark ink. And our stamp is going to be Grateful for You. So I'm going to ink up my sentiment. And when I think I've got enough, I'm going to go back in and do it again just to be sure. And we're going to stamp that onto our banner. Very Vanilla banner. Close that up. We don't want embossing powder in there. And let me just grab hold of that first. Okay, why do I have a line above there? I'm going to have to take my brush and clean that off. Just dump this back into our container. Oh, we had some more to do yet. Let me get my brush and clean this off, and then we'll go on to the inside and get that done at the same time. So I'm just going to take my brush, run it lightly across that I don't need there. All right. I set that there for a moment because we're going to grab our inside layer, our Very Vanilla, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and we're going to stamp our inside sentiment there, which says, "Blessed to have you in my life." And again, I'm going to use my embossing powder. And we're going to ink that up with our Versamark. Let's do our Stampin' Buddy first. And bring over our sentiment. And I'm going to stamp this up in the upper left side. Over that. Bring our embossing powder over here. Tap, tap, tap. Put this into our container. Set that aside. Bring our gun over here. And it takes it a moment to heat up a little bit. Just back over here. We'll do that one first. see it? There's such a gun heat up a little while, and we'll start embossing. Let the magic begin. That's fine. Over the inside. Yes, to have you in my life. I love that sentiment. I'm going to turn it over and straighten out my paper a little bit. Looks like I got that all. Turn you on. Icing powder. All right. And then I'm going to stamp the pumpkin again on the inside. So let me bring that back over here along with our black memento ink. Gotta have some pretty on the inside also. You could also heat emboss this. That'd be pretty. And I'll bring my blends back over here. We'll do this. Try to do it kind of fast. It's the dark Cajun Craze. Oops, that wasn't supposed to go there. We're going to have a little orange in with our squash. Trying to be in a hurry here, and I'm messing up. But I don't know why I'm in a hurry for. It's not like I have anywhere to go. But y'all might, I guess. All right, and then we'll do the larger pumpkin the same. We've got a pretty day here in Arkansas. I think we're supposed to be a high of like 87 today, so our temperatures have cooled off a bit. That's better than the 90s. And around this edge, light Cajun Craze. I'm using the brush tip this time. It's a little bit faster. And a little spot in there I missed. Between the leaves. All right. We're getting there. Oops, we'll put a spot right there. All right, now we're going to use our dark darling duckling. And see if I can't fix up that mess up that I did. Yeah, I toned it down. We're fine. It might be a little bit more ripe there. Okay, and then the light darling duckling. Yeah, that's covering up that Cajun Craze. Okay, I'm okay with that. Not too bad of a mess up. All right, pretty much gone. All better. Now we got our old olive dark. And we're going to do the stems. Just a little shading. And the leaves. With the greenery, I'm just doing a little streak down the middle of them. And a little curly Q. And the light old olive to finish that up. The stems. Oh, the pumpkins. I did the pumpkin, the squash stem. I did that with the dark old olive. And get this over here. And do the ground a little bit with the light old olive. And we're going to bring back our darling duckling again to do our corn. And we'll start with the dark. Do some shading on the leaves. And tap, tap, tap on the corn. Give it a little dark color. And we'll come back with the light darling duckling. Tap, tap, tap again on the corn. And we're going to leave some of those, the vanilla color. We're not going to color all of it. All right. Get our lines out of the way. Bring this over here. This over here. We'll put that inside of our card. And we'll attach that inside of our card. Okay, that's the inside. Blessed to have you in my life. And now we need to put our banner on the front of our card. And I'm just going to glue that down with our Tombow glue. You could put that up on dimensionals. No, I'm going to glue it down. I've got the pumpkins popped up. And this is going to sit right above our ribbon there. Our trim. And then I don't have a bow. Usually I make the bow ahead of time. Oh, I did. Here it is. It's just hiding from me. I already made the bow ahead of time. That's going to go right underneath our sentiment. And I'm going to use our mini glue dots, which they have disappeared. Here they are. And I'll just press that on there. And center that in the center. And grab my ribbon scissors. I'm going to trim that tail down just a little bit. And I didn't put any gems on it because I figured it's got enough bling on there with the embossing and the cutout die. So there we have our first card. Grateful for you. Blessed to have you in my life. So card number 1. Let me clear a little bit of this as we go so I don't make such a mess. All right, looks like my Stampin' blends bled through a little bit, messed up my work surface. Okay, and the next one, we are showcasing the paper that comes with that bundle. Let me get all my things out here and then I'll show you which one I'm talking about. We're using the Autumn Toile 12 by 12 DSP, and here's some samples of it. So it's only one page. You get 3 sheets of these papers for each design, so I like that. So instead of just the normal 2, you get 3, so you're not afraid to use it. All right, so we're using this pattern right here. And here's our card. It says, blessed to have you in my life. And on the inside, I said, you're simply the best and grateful for you. So that's card number 2. And we're going to start out with our very vanilla card base. I better get my instructions over here. And again, it is 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and it's scored at 5 1/2 inches. So we're going to burnish that fold line. Should have put a band-aid on my finger. I did that yesterday. I don't know how I did it. Skinned my knuckles. All right, so we're going to go portrait style with this one. And then next we've got our early espresso, which is 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And then we have another one that is 3 inches by 4 inches. And we've got another, let's see, trying to figure out here. Our designer series paper for here is going to be 2 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that so I don't misplace it. That's going to be our top layer, but I'll attach these 2 and then I'll set it aside. So we're going to leave a small border going around it. And this will go up on dimensionals also, so let's go ahead and do that while we're at it. I'm going to put 1 in each corner. And 1 on each side also, just to help support it. So we're going to set that aside for a moment. And then we're going to work on, let's see, inside. Bring this over here. We've got our designer series paper, and this measured 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and I just cut it in 2 at 2 inches. And we're just going to flip one side over. Let me decide which one I want to use. I think I'm going to use this one, and we'll flip this over to this side. So that was 2 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we needed 2 of those, or you just cut that 4 inch in half. And we're going to center that on all 3 sides. Let me scooch a little bit more. There. And then this one's going to go the back side on the other side. I love this paper. These are going to make great men cards, I think. All right, there we got that. And we'll bring our card back over here and we're going to place that onto our card front. Make sure I'm opening the right way. Don't want it upside down. That has happened. Be sure you comment when you come on. Say hello. Say where you're watching me from. It's fun to see where everybody is. All right, so here's our card front so far. And then we're going to bring back our smaller layer and we're going to add some Baker's Twine. This is the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. And I'm using the beige colored. I'm just going to wrap that around this upper portion a few times. So I'm just going to bring, I guess I'll use my Stampin' Seal to grab that with. And let's see if I can squeeze that in between these. And place one end down, and then we're going to wrap it around 3 times. I think I kind of missed that side. Am I down too low? Yeah, I need to scooch that up there. So press them down. Bring my ribbon scissors over here and snip that off. And I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool to pull off these dimensional backings. Oops. And we stuck to the Stampin' Seal. It just shows that it sticks good. And bring our card back over, and we're going to place that centered onto our card front. And I think that looks pretty good. Maybe down just a hair. That's straight. I think it's straight. Looks crooked to me though. And then we're going to grab a bow that I've already made from doubling up my Baker's Twine. That's going to go right at this edge here. I'm going to use some of our mini glue dots, the mini ones that come with our paper pumpkin kits. And I have lost them. They were just here. There they are. We can always lose things on our desk. I don't know. No matter how dirty or clean it is, doesn't matter. I cleaned my desk off yesterday pretty good, so it's looking pretty good today. Okay, we'll attach that. And one tail here is a little bit longer, so we're going to snip that up a little bit. And then we're going to grab a scrap of our paper here to stamp our sentiment on. And it's going to be the blessed to have you in my life again. And I'm going to use Early Espresso ink pad, which I just had here. There it is. It's hiding underneath my pile here of stuff. And I didn't even clean the Versamark off of this, so it still stamps okay. It kind of conditions your stamps. And so if I'm stamping, I could just follow to the inside. So let me bring Another very vanilla over. This is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That's going to be our inside layer. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp our sentiments while I'm got the ink out. And I'm going to put "You're Simply the Best" at the top corner. And then I've got a strip of Designer Series paper that's going to go across the bottom. And that measures 1 1/2 inches by 4 inches. And we're just going to place that down here at the bottom. But I'm not going to attach it quite yet because I'm going to stamp another sentiment at the bottom. And it's going to be "Grateful for You." I wanted to lay my layer down there so I know how exactly where to stamp this at. So just above the Designer Series paper. Oh, and it messed up. See? That's why we have 2 sides to every paper. Okay, let's try that again. Got some edging going on, but I don't have an extra one here. I don't like that. Let me, what did I do with those? Hopefully I've got more. Yeah, I did. Very vanilla. See, we even mess up on ours. I know people got to fix our boo-boos. All right. Get back to that. What do I do with it? Let's try this again. 3rd time's a charm, I hope. Don't rock your stamp. I did it again. Need to clean that off. I guess I've got some on the edging that's doing it. Goodness, here's my Simply Chamois. I'll clean that up real quick. Some people with the rubber stamps, if they get that shadowing going on, they'll cut part of it off. I guess maybe I need to do that with this one. Try that again. Tap, tap, tap. Get that lined up so I get it straight. I don't believe this. No, 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 no. No, I can't match that up. No. Well, why am I having such a difficulty here? This has got to be a good one because it's my last sheet. So I have to cut out some more. If I don't get a shadow, then I don't stamp it all the way, and I'm missing part of my image. There, finally. Oops, I gotta do the other one up on top yet. You're the best. All right. Close up the ink pad. And we'll assemble the rest of our card together. Make sure I don't have any ink on my fingers to mess it up. I'm going to bring back my glue. You could do this side too. Well, we'll keep to the plan here. And place this down, leaving a small border at the bottom. And I'm going to trim off that excess, a little bit hanging over. And this will go on the inside of our card, finally. I could have put a darker layer behind this too to kind of set it off, but I didn't want my card to be too bulky. So, all right, and now we're going to fussy cut our outside sentiment. Paper snips. And we're just going to cut around our image, just leaving a little edge of vanilla showing. Did I pop this one up? I didn't. No, I just put it down. But I am going to put a dimensional at this side. So I'm going to have that hanging over just a little bit. So I'm going to just take one of my edges here. And don't want the whole thing. No, I think I'm going to take half of it. Place that on this left-hand side, and then I'm going to just use my glue to attach it on the other side. Oops, it fell off. Well, I guess I didn't take the backing off of it. Okay, pick that up, place that down. Okay, so there we are. We need to add some embellishments to this. So I'm going to be using the neutral matte dots. These are still available. And I'm going to use, we're going to go with the white ones. Grab my paper pick tool. And I'm going to use the larger ones. 2 up in this right-hand corner. Come here, little guy. I'm placing them at an angle. And the other one, we'll take a medium size. Well, that's a large. I guess there's only 2 sizes. And I want to put this one, maybe over here on the tree. Okay, so here's our card. Blessed to have you in my life. You're simply the best and grateful for you. So that's card number 2. And then card number 3, I'm using another stamp set. Well, 2 different ones. I'm using Layered Thoughts. I'm going to use the Thinking of You. And then the Love and Strength, I'm using I Am Here for You for my inside sentiment. Straighten up here just a tiny bit, make some room. Put those there. Bits and pieces. Nope. All right, so here's a Thinking of You card. Thinking of you, I am here for you. My instructions. Okay, so our card base is going to be 5.5 by 8.5, and then score it at 4 1/4 inches. We're going to burnish that fold line. And this is going to go this way. And then get all my bits and pieces out here. The paper we're using for this one is going to be coming from the Perennial Lavender. This is in our annual catalog. And I am using this design and this design. Okay. So we're going to start out, we're going to attach our DSP down first. So I've got this one is, well, I don't have measurements right there. It's a gorgeous grape, and that's the cardstock, or the card base was gorgeous grape. And our designer series paper is going to be 2 different patterns at 2 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And these flowers are going to go at the bottom. I'm going to turn that over. And this one is going to go at the top. And like I said, they're both 2 inches by 5 3/8 inches. So we'll start out by attaching our top one down. I'm not doing so bad with time. I thought maybe I was going to be running over today, but I might be right on time. All right, so this is going to go onto that upper portion of our card, leaving a small, tiny border going around it. You can barely see it. And then the next one goes under that. And it's okay if you have a gap in the center because that's going to be covered up anyway. And then I have a gorgeous grape. It's going to go across the center, and that is going to measure 3 inches by 5 3/8 inches. But I'm going to do some tearing, so I'm going to tear just the one side. So pull it back towards you, and you'll get the inside layer showing. And that's going to go up here. And then we have a basic white, which is 2 inches by 5 3/8 inches, and that's going to sit across the center of that. So we're going to go ahead and do our stamping first. And it's going to say, thinking of you. Grab my stamps. Thinking of you. And I'm going to use that gorgeous grape ink pen, which I don't have out here, do I? No, of course not. Grab that real quick. Oh, maybe I do have it out. No? Must be looking at it. Just a moment. It's in my old pads, that's why I can't find it. No? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah. My label is kind of faded, so I can't see what the name was. All right, there we go. And thinking of you. I'm going to keep this all off to the right side because we're going to have a flower going on the other side. So, thinking. And we're done with the gorgeous grape ink pad. We're going to use our black lavender next. And I'm going to do the U first. I'm going to put that off to this side. Tap, tap, tap. U, and then of next to that. At least I didn't mess this one up today. Not too bad yet. Better knock on wood. It can still happen. All right, so thinking of you. It's going to go in that center. Okay. It's going to butt up end to end here. Now we're going to attach that to the front of our card. And it looks like it's straight. Now we're going to stamp the flower image, and I didn't put that on the block yet. Let me see. Flower comes from the Love and Strength, this one here. That was a block. And our black memento. I thought I did this one ahead of time, but I guess I didn't. So you're going to have to watch me color it and die cut it out. It shouldn't take very long. It's only 2 colors. So I'm going to use, this is Island Heather. And Old Olive for the stem. And a Darling Duckling for the center of our flower. Sliding out of my chair here. So I'm going to start again by using the dark, and that's Highland Heather, just to give it some shading. Gosh, it's quiet today. My husband's not mowing. Not sure what he's doing. Okay. Color the center of our flower with a light Highland Heather. We're squeaking with this one. You say when it squeaks like that, you're pressing too hard, but I'm not. I'm pretty light. It's just a squeaky one. All right, kettle. All right, we're going to use the Darling Duckling to color the stamens in that flower. I guess that's what they're called. And then our Old Olive for our leaves. And this one is the dark. Again, I'll do some shading with the dark. And Wasn't sure that was a leaf or what that was, but it's a leaf. Do y'all have anything going on for the week? It's a Monday. I'm going to be pretty busy this week. We're going camping next week, so I've got to start getting it together. Figure out what the menu is going to be. We're going to be camping with some friends from church. That should be fun. We haven't figured out the menu yet, what we're going to be doing. So got to do that so I can do my shopping tomorrow. All right. I guess I fussy cut that. I thought there was a die for it. Maybe there is, but we're just going to go ahead and fussy cut it. It shouldn't take long. That smaller piece to hold on to. If there's a die for it, I didn't bring it over here, so I don't want to get back up. We're just going to fussy cut it, be done with it. I don't think I ordered the die. I think I just bought the stamp set with this one when they're running the stamp sale. I didn't get the dies. But it's not that hard to cut out, so it's no biggie. I might order them later on, maybe. See what I feel like. And this is going to be put on dimensionals also. And we got that. That wasn't too painful. Bring our dimensionals back over here. And let's put one more on the flower. We don't want it sinking. No sinking flowers. I'm actually taking those off my fingernails today. All right, and we're going to set this off to the side of our sentiment. You can see. And then we've got our, this is Fresh Freesia Faux velvet ribbon. We're going to use that. We're just going to run a strip on the top and on the bottom. So I'm going to bring in my peel and tear and peel. Tear and peel. Let's see, tear and tape. Boy, words are hard today. And I'm just going to run a small thin line right along the seam of that white cardstock. And I should have put this down before I did the flower. But it's fine. Tear. And another one at the top. Tear. All right, I might take your pick tool here to take that adhesive off. And I'm going to put that across the front at the top. And I'm lining it right up against the seam of the white cardstock there. Just to give it a little edge. And that will be the bottom one. The same way. And put our ribbon on there, put it right up against the bottom of that white layer. ribbon scissors, snip that off. Whoops. Oops. I didn't mute my notifications on my laptop. Okay, so there's that so far. So let's work on the inside. We have another layer of basic white, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then we have another piece of the designer series paper, which is 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That's going to go across the bottom. But I'm going to stamp our sentiment first, just in case I mess up. And he is going to say, I am here for you. And like I said, that comes out of the love and strength. I am here for you. And I'm just going to do this with our black memento. Or you could do the gorgeous gray, but I'm going to use the black today. It says, I am here for you. I'm going to do that right in the center. Close that pad up. And we've got that strip of design series paper is going to go across the bottom. Make sure my flowers are going the right direction, not upside down. Oh, what's on there? Leave a small edge at the bottom. And bring that over and trim off that excess. Now we can attach that to the inside of our card. Turn it upside down. Same border all the way around. An even border. Got something on that paper that's bugging me. All right. But we're not done yet. We need to add some embellishments. So we're going to use, these are the purple fine shimmer gems. And these are still available too. And I'm going to grab some of those off and put them onto our card. I think I'm going to use the large ones. And a large and a small. There, and then we'll do another large one at the top corner. That doesn't show up a lot, but you can see it in person, but probably the camera's not picking that one up. It kind of blends in with the designer series paper. I'm losing embellishments here. Well, put you back on my card. There you go. All right, and I think I'm going to put a little wink of Stella in the center of our flower, just to give it a little bling. And maybe some streaks onto the petals. There. All right, did I do everything? I did. Okay. Thinking of you, I'm here for you. Oops, I'm going to trim some of that ribbon that's hanging over. All right. Okay, so that's our 3 cards for today. Let me bring those all back over here so we can show. And this one, you can scooch that just a little bit. Get them all in the camera view. Okay, so let me look at my schedule for next week. Well, we won't be here. So might try to do a recording if I have a chance to do it, and if I come up with something, I mean, figured out which cards I'm doing next. I have to plan that all out. So that'll be the 6th of October. I won't be here live. Possibly a pre-recorded one. And then again, the following week, I've got a doctor appointment that Monday, so I may have to change the day that I'm doing. So I'll let you know in advance. So until next time, I will see you live on October 20th, it looks like, and possibly the week of the 13th, but I'm not sure. But I will not be here next Monday, October 6th. So we're going to do some camping for 5 days, I think we've got. And it's also JoJo's 2nd birthday this Sunday. I think it's Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday. October 5th is her birthday. And my youngest daughter's birthday is the day before on the 4th, so they can celebrate their birthdays together, I guess. But until next time, y'all have a good rest of your week. Be sure you like and share the video. And if you're watching YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I think there's also a like button on there too. You can click that, and that helps, brings me more viewers. So these are the cards for today, and I'm glad you're able to be here with me today. And hopefully you got a day set aside where you can do some crafting. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye. That's all, folks. I'm dating myself now.